Rossibytes.
Okay, so most of you know by now that I am utterly intrigued by all of these AI tools that have been being released over the last several months. And like every major player in the AI space is releasing new news every week of how they're trumping the next person and the next person and the next person. One of the spaces that doesn't seem to get as much attention as it should or could is the whole entire space of taking, for example, somebody's voice and changing it into somebody else's voice. Now, I've seen services where you can go and train it on your own voice. I've seen services where you can go and put in text and then have it use a lot of the voices that it has created. You can also get samples of somebody else's voice and then have your text converted into their voice. One of the biggest players in that space is 11 Labs, and still to this day, I feel that they are the best quality and the most convincing sounding technology for text-to-speech synthesis. So recently, I've come across a website called Lalals, I think. It's LALALS.com. Say that 5 times fast. And basically what you can do is you can come up here and you can provide a sample audio file and then have your audio turned into the voice of another artist. So for example, you can see here that they have a section for trending AI voices, and we have Drake for rap, Tate McRae, I don't even know who that is, but we have Ed Sheeran, Ariana Grande, Elon Musk. But for me as a singer, one of the voices that I've always liked, and also their musicianship and their craftsmanship, has been Ed Sheeran. And so I've always wondered what it would sound like if I turned my vocals into Ed Sheeran. And I thought, what better way to try this than to write some really basic lyrics to a love ballad, for example. And rather than sit here and try to think of some lyrics on my own, I was like, let's turn to ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT can provide in this area. So we'll come over to the conversation that I had, because I don't find wasting your time typing and asking for stuff to be of value to you. But I said, write me a catchy chorus for a love ballad and avoid using corny or cheesy lyrics. And the first thing it came up with was, underneath the boundless sky, your silhouette in my mind. In your eyes, a universe, secrets yet undefined. One of the things I've noticed with ChatGPT is when you ask it to write lyrics, it doesn't really understand the concept of meter within the chorus lyrics. So everything kind of falling in a similar beat or rhythm pattern. So then I said, write a different chorus with shorter sections. Under a sky so wide, your echo in my thoughts. In your gaze, a cosmos, love that can't be bought. Whispers in a night, in a tongue we understand. Love's not a journey, it's where we land. Again, this was too complex for me, so I said, write me a simple chorus for a singer-songwriter style song. And it came up with, in your eyes, I see the sun. With your love, we are one. Through the highs, through the lows, where you lead, I will go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with those lyrics, and I'm going to record myself singing those lyrics, and then I'm going to attempt to take my provided audio and bring it over to Lalal's website and have my audio translated or transcribed into Ed Sheeran's voice. So we'll see how that works out. In your eyes, I see the sun. With your love, we are one. Through the highs and through the lows, where you lead, I will go. In your eyes, I see the sun. With your love, we are one. Through the highs and through the lows, where you lead, I will go. Make it stop! Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, I was looking to see if anybody was in my house, because it's pretty humiliating. But now that we got that out of the way, I have my audio as a WAV file, and I can now drag my WAV file onto the drag and drop area here. And you'll notice here that I have credits left and it says 48. The reason for this is because the first time I tried it, it let me do a short little sample, but then I wasn't able to do any others after that. And so I did sign up with a small subscription just to get some credits, and then I'm going to be canceling the membership after that because I'm not going to be using this very much for any real practical purposes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the box here, and I'm going to click on Ed Sheeran's name. And this is just, I'm doing this with this drag and drop here. You can also go underneath the artist, and you would then be able to do the same thing, but with that artist selected specifically. I'm just doing a quick select from this little drag and drop zone here. So with that selected, I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop my WAV file over, and we'll see that it's uploading the file. Now, I think with this particular plan that I have, I can do up to 3 minutes of audio, but we're now going to see that it's loading my audio in. And we heard how lovely it sounded when I did it. So let's hear how it sounds as Ed Sheeran. So as you can see, it didn't take that long, but now I have an Ed Sheeran sample of this particular song. So let's give it a listen and see what we think.
In your eyes, I see the sun. With your love, we are one. Through the highs and through the lows, where you lead, I will go.
Not bad. You can definitely hear some artifacting going on in there, but for the most part, to me, it sounds pretty much like Ed Sheeran. So I think if you were to mix this in with some actual backing tracks and put some effects on the vocals, could pass off as an Ed Sheeran cover of my song. Okay, so admittedly, when I sang the original vocal, I definitely did not keep myself to a certain tempo. So the timing of my vocal is not consistent with any tempo that would be done to an actual recording. But what I've done is I've taken the Ed Sheeran audio and I have moved it around a little bit to line it up a little bit more. I came in and I literally just used my phone to record the audio of my keyboard, which is behind me, coming out of speakers. So I didn't set up any of my fancy stuff. I didn't come in and use a click track or anything, but it was just kind of fun and interesting to see what it would sound like if I put like a guitar underneath the Ed Sheeran vocal to see if it made it sound even more believable. I've also added a little bit of effects onto the vocal track itself. So here's what it all sounds like.
In your eyes, I see the sun. With your love, we are one. Through the highs and through the lows, where you lead, I will go.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Rossi Bites.